There was a shocking title change on SmackDown last night. A scrapped WWE storyline is returning, and Jey Uso has quit WWE. Stay tuned for the news. Now, being advertised for SmackDown last night was Austin Theory defending his United States Championship against Santos Escobar. This is a match that has been building for about a month and a half now.
Yeah,
the tournament.
It's been kind of building up to this point, and obviously, you know, hot Calgary crowd, very excited to see the match.
Yep.
But sometimes you just don't get what you want.
Yeah, you didn't. It just didn't happen. We unfortunately, after attacking Santos Escobar earlier in the night, Austin Theory was still set to defend the belt against him. Like, Santos Escobar was raring to go despite a storyline injury.
Yeah.
Theory then attacked him during his entrance,
And then just casually went down to the ring and stood around waiting for the match to start.
Yep, as you do. I guess he was maybe wanting him to get counted out, like ring the bell, ref. He's unable to go, or trying to take
Wouldn't
advantage.
he have to like bring him down, start the match, and then throw him out?
Theory's not the smartest.
Come
heel
on,
in the,
Theory.
Yeah, you know, but in theory, that's what you should have done. But Theory didn't do that, did he? He was a silly Billy. But Santos Escobar on the ramp, injured. All the LWO come out to sort of check on him.
Adam Pearce is straight out.
Straight away, Adam Pearce coming out being like, whoa, 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 you're not going to get off that easy. The nice people here in Calgary, cheap pop, nice, you know, everyone, they said the city, they said where we are. He goes, you're still going to get a United States Championship match, but it's going to be against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, Rey just whaps his gear off, or he's like backstage. He whaps his backstage clothes off and he's got his gear on underneath.
Yeah, he was ready to go.
Straight out of the ring. And they had a good little match.
Surprisingly short.
Yeah, surprisingly short.
Considering Theory's the longest reigning United States Championship since John Moxley, Dean Ambrose's run about a decade ago. God, a decade ago. Grim. That is grim. But yeah, it's the longest United States Championship reign since then. It kind of just fizzled out a little bit there.
Yeah, I think, you know, it was sort of, I'm a big fan of like an exciting upset, like, oh, whoa, like that should have been different. That should have been a much different outcome. So I'm always one to lean on the, all right, let's see where this is going side of things. But at the same time, I can kind of see why people are a bit like, that short? Really?
Yeah, and I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see Santos Escobar in the match because as much as Rey Mysterio is an absolute legend and he's having sort of a career renaissance right now with being able to... His knees, I don't know how he's doing it, but he's moving incredibly. Santos Escobar feels like the guy that should have maybe beat Theory to maybe solidify him as... a guy.
I guess that you can also have like the passing of the torch match between Rey and Santos, or you can have Dominic then go after Rey and try and take that gold from him.
He's had the North American Championship, so maybe you want to have him all of the United States.
The All Americas champion.
All of the Americas. But I'm excited to see what they do. It was the LWO, of course, came out at the end of the match to celebrate with Rey, and it was announced that next week Mysterio will guest on the Grayson Waller effect. So maybe that's what maybe the change of plans. They've gone, Grayson Waller's the guy that we kind of want to shift into that position.
I kind of hope that there's something sitting waiting for Austin Theory, though, because it kind of feels like we've had, you know, this monumental reign. It needs to go somewhere. You know, there needs to be something that comes after this.
They need to make his character a little bit more exciting, something, and it's hard to do because obviously Austin Theory has genuinely all the potential of the world. I know a lot of people don't really like him.
Well, it feels like he was kind of this exciting ball of like wonder in NXT, and it's been focused into a bit of a laser beam on the main roster. And I think it's about time we just sort of widen the beam a bit again.
I'd like to see him reunite with the Way when they get brought back to TV. Show a bit of personality. But best of luck, Rey Mysterio, going forward as the United States Championship. I hope he gets a decent reign, but I think maybe Grayson Waller's waiting in those wings, and we'll see that next week. But also next week, we're going to be seeing a first-time ever singles match. Sheamus recently revealed to Matty Paddock that there were plans for him to be involved with a storyline and match with Edge at Money in the Bank. Those plans were scrapped, but it looks like WWE's bringing it back because last night Edge came out to the ring, was saying that next week is going to be the 25th anniversary of Edge. That's wild in itself that it's 25 years of Edge.
Again, just no.
It's again, it makes us feel old. But it's going to be in Toronto next week for SmackDown, Edge's hometown, and it's going to be a monumental match. He said that there was one person he wants to have a match with, and it's Sheamus. Sheamus was one of the people that made Edge want to return to wrestling via the Celtic Warrior workouts right here on YouTube. You can check them out. They're really, really fun, and about how he was one of the first people Edge called to get him ready to ring shape.
Yeah, and they've never faced each other before, which is in a singles match anyway, which is quite an exciting thing. But at the same time, Sheamus and the Brutes came to the ring and emotionally told a story about a live event in Dublin in 2004 when everybody gave Sheamus the cold shoulder except for Edge. Sheamus then accepted Edge's challenge for next week, tweeted out after the show, WWE Universe next week on SmackDown, we are going to send Edge into another 25 years with a classic 5-star banger.
Absolutely. That was accompanied with a little photo of them both on bikes. Edge on a mountain bike, Edge on a little like Toys R Us tassels and everything, little pink bike. I'm really excited to see what they do. Sheamus is someone who is having some of the best work of his career, and Edge can still go.
And Sheamus is being very vocal about the fact that somebody's eating up all their time. So I think that giving Sheamus a massive marquee match like this is only going to further solidify the fact that Sheamus needs some more love from the company.
And I hope it's not a one and done. I hope this actually leads into a little storyline, even if it's a friendly sort of like
see how far you can push each other type thing.
Kind of what Sheamus and Drew originally was.
And then Sheamus will turn on him and it'll all get nasty.
That's fantasy booking. What's he like? But we're going to stay with WWE just now and look at NXT, because according to a report from the Wrestling Observer, there is a renewed focus from Endeavor and Nick Khan to have NXT be recognized as a sustainable third brand. The plan is reportedly for them to build up the weekly ratings for the show so that they're able to negotiate a good sort of rights fee for it.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know, the fact you've got AEW with 3 major shows now on TV, and it's sort of, you need to be able to get that stuff up to that point. I don't think it's very surprising that Endeavor are focusing on this side of things. I think that if there's a way that you can get NXT to be making more money, it should be being done. You know, the problem comes with, you can't lose the magic. That's the issue. So you've got to try and scale it and promote it in a way where you're not going to lose the magic of NXT, but you're going to make it must see.
And you mentioned money making there. That's the thing. They need to be able to turn a little bit of a profit on there, because right now it does feel like they're putting a lot of focus in there. They've got all their performance center. It's like a big backing off them, but they need to be able to take it on the road. And that's something that one of their goals is to take it on the road, to run tours outside of Florida in venues that can accommodate 2,000 people and tape television on the road, similar to your flagship shows like Raw and SmackDown.
And interestingly, they're wanting to close the gap on the ratings between NXT and Dynamite. So they're trying to make it a comparable show to Dynamite.
And it's strange, because then that's what it was like back in 2019, 2020. NXT and Dynamite going head to head.
Of the war.
So maybe we're going to see a little bit more of that. I hope, though, for all our NXT 2.0 and current NXT white and gold fans like Ross, they don't lose, as you said, the magic.
Yeah, because it's sort of NXT's, it went through a little bit of a rocky period. It's managed to reinvent itself very nicely. And I think everybody's kind of on board with it now, right? Absolutely. You don't want to just pull that rug away again.
Otherwise, you lose a lot of the audience that's there. But staying with NXT, off the back of the report that we just mentioned there from the Wrestling Observer about NXT's new focus, it was reported that WWE still has plans for NXT Europe and a full-time performance center in London, but it's been pushed back to 2024. I know that they mentioned that they wanted this all set up by the end of 2023 when it was announced that NXT UK was closing. It's going into 2024. I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. There's got to be a lot of logistics involved with getting that sort of thing off the ground. And then now, in the middle of everything, we've got the sale of the company potentially being finalized over the next month. So there's going to be a lot of focus shifting in different directions for now. But I think once things get a bit more refined, once the company opens up its hiring policy a bit wider again, and once they start getting the facilities all in place, then I think it's only a matter of time.
Well, you mentioned sort of they've had a big year, Endeavor and the sale for WWE. That came, of course, the night after WrestleMania, and WWE is apparently, according to a report from the Wrestling Observer, they're still strongly behind the idea that having Reigns beat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania was the right decision because of the growth of the company, because of the sale of the company, because it's proven that
the almighty dollar.
Exactly. The dollar is acknowledging Roman Reigns. So it's interesting that even months down the line, they're still sticking by that decision.
I do think there is something in the fact that you have Cody come back and it's like, well, he's going to win the big one. And it's like, no. To the bottom of the card. He's not quite being sent to the bottom of the
Bottom of the card, Brock
but
Lesnar.
like, you know, like kick him way out of the scene, and have him then have to go through all of these matches to get back to Roman.
Hard times.
To go through hard times to then emerge victorious at the end. I understand it, but at the same time, it feels like the clock's starting to really tick on the Bloodline storyline, and everybody's a bit, you know, up in the air about what's potentially going to come next, because whatever comes next has to continue this trend, right?
Right, it's got to keep the audience hooked, and I think you could argue that if Cody had beaten Reigns, you could still have the Bloodline storyline, and it might feel a bit fresh having the belt away from them, and you could still have all the drama.
But yeah, I mean, they'd have to go back to Cody a couple of times, but then what would Cody do? And Cody's story needs to be just as exciting and just as captivating as Roman's.
It needs to be the one that's got the focus off the WWE, but right now it does still keep a focus on the Bloodline, which was what we saw on SmackDown last night. We saw the Hail to the Chief segment. This was off the back of SummerSlam. Jimmy Uso turning on Jey Uso and costing him both the championship and the tribal chiefdom.
Tribal chiefdom.
Yes. Is that the phrase?
That's the phrase.
Jimmy Uso explained to Jey that what he did at SummerSlam was out of love, because he didn't want to see Jey become a lying, egotistical, manipulative asshole.
Ooh.
What a horrible word, he said. Yeah, he compared to Jey, he didn't want to turn into Roman Reigns. Essentially. He offered Jey the chance to kick him in the face, you know, a super kick, you know, being like, look,
just one free shot, kick me in the face.
If you feel like it, you can do it. But Jey didn't do it. He turned his back on Jimmy. Jimmy left the ring, walked up the entrance ramp, and Reigns then, of course, as he does, asked Jimmy to acknowledge him. And Jey acknowledged him with a super kick.
Yeah. He just punted him right in the face.
And then Jey got the better of both him and Solo. It had a really cool sort of moment where he's on top. He's the guy. He shows that he can get the better of them. Jey called Jimmy back to the ring. It looked like they were going to get a hug. It looked beautiful, but what did he do instead?
Instead, Jey nailed him with a super kick, and then he addressed the camera directly and said, "I'm out of the Bloodline, I'm out of SmackDown, I'm out of WWE," before leaving via the crowd while the arena chanted his name.
And it looks like that Jey Uso has quit the WWE. That's how WWE is.
Let him go do some indie dates.
It.
Let him go do some indie dates. Come on.
God, I hope so. I really hope they do, because
can you imagine
him turning up and, like, I don't know, just
they've got to have some companies that are affiliated.
Go to Ring of Honor,
GCW, just for one match.
Yeah, it would be fun. It would add a little bit of excitement. We'd be sitting here just,
is my God, actually gone?
What the hell, you know? And it would cause a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
But right now, that is all we've got for you. We will be back later on today. I'm sure there'll be lots more wrestling news. Stay tuned to all the stuff on the channel. We've got lots and lots of stuff. Worst shows ever. I did one of them just the other week. That's on SummerSlam 1996. And on the podcast feed right now, you can listen to my chat with Kinda Funny and WWE's Greg Miller. He just got attacked by Jeff Jarrett this week.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more news later on.